Alright everyone, and welcome to another edition of Baldur's Gate 3, playing with me. I am the One-Eyed Cat. So, in my first video, I showed you how to build origin characters at the creation menu that are going to be able to succeed pretty well at dialogue checks. Now I want to actually go through and show you what the first few levels of their, like maybe the first 4 levels of the character can be in order to make sure that dialogue goes fairly well. Let's start with Asterion. This is going to require me to basically like reclass everyone, so here we go. Where is he at?
Just be
Bone Man.
quick.
Asterion will be my first test subject. Do.
Fate dost thou require as...
Alright, so here's how the first several characters would go if you wanted to make him into some sort of rogue that would excel at dialogue checks. Now, I do prefer to do the whole Gloomstalker Ranger plus Assassin Rogue. You can do that if you want, but you don't have to. I'm just going to go with straight Rogue because the concept is basically the same. You would start off with a charisma value. So let's see here. So something more like this. If I wanted to like just totally excel at charisma stuff, you don't have to do it that way because you can move more into Constitution and less into Charisma, but that's fine. So what we're going to do is, first of all, we're going to make sure that our Sleight of Hand and Stealth are maxed out because that's what I plan to use him for. But now, what can we do? Persuasion. We can use Persuasion. We already have pretty good with Deception. Intimidation. So you can like stack things up in such a way, well, yeah, maybe this. You can stack things in such a way that you're still good at things, but you have like starting out the gate with +5 persuasion, +5 deception. That's already really good. In fact, if I have these 2 face skills, I don't even need that. I can go like this. Athletics. More likely to push people off of ledges and stuff, so that could be a good way to do it. Anyway, I'm going to want to max out Sleight of Hand and Stealth. I could start off with levels just like this. Then I could go over here, level up. There we go. And I can take my, next turn of that. Now I can go over here and do Swashbuckler. Swashbucklers do have mechanics that depend on charisma. I'm going to be honest and say that I don't know for sure if they actually depend on it in this specific game. I know in D&D 5th edition they did. And then I can take a feat. If I'm doing this, there's many different places I can go with this first. I'm not going to go with Tavern Brawler because he's not going to be one of those thrower builds necessarily. One thing you can do if you want to max out how much he gets in terms of like his damage rolls, you can go Savage Attacker. I don't know if I want to do that. Let it go. I might just start off the easy way and do like +2 dexterity, right? We want to build a rogue that has maximum dexterity. We don't want to depend on the gloves of dexterity for that because we can give that to another character that could use it. We're the rogue. Almost everything we do depends on dexterity. But there's other things you can do. Some might actually want to do this. Do moderately armored so that you get medium armor. Now that's one of the reasons why people take a ranger level in the first place, because you can get medium armor. But there's many ways to do it, so I'm not going to like beat the dead horse here. Some people may want sentinel. It depends on how you're going to play this. Some people actually do skilled. So if you want to like max out even more of your skills, you can. I don't necessarily recommend doing it that way, but you can. So like say I want to be like the ultimate frontline character, right? the checks that I'm going to need the most are probably going to be perception. I may have already maxed that out. Nope, I can't do that. But I can take other things, like if I want acrobatics, just so I can like avoid being pushed off of cliffs. I could take intimidation just for even more dialogue options. And performance can be an interesting one, but like I might want to take something that allows me to notice things better. That actually might be survival, in terms of noticing traps and other things. Well, not traps, but like hidden things and other stuff. Tracks, you know, determining what went through an area. There's many ways to do it, so I'm just going to go ahead and skip out of it from here. But now you understand it's pretty easy to make Astarion into a dialogue character. Now let's go over to Gale. I'm going to have to put him in the party, so give me a second. Gale.
Got a little time?
Honestly, Gale being a wizard at first level makes this a little bit of a pain in the rear, but I already went over how you can stack him for an origin character. So now, join me.
I'd be delighted. Though,
Back in there.
Lost.
We're gonna go over here and do this.
Dost thou as
Now, how to build Gale? There's a build that uses Tempest Cleric level 1, but then everything else is Sorcerer levels. I'm going to show you that. That would be my go-to probably. It's not the only way to do it, but it would be my go-to. To get medium armor as a bard, you'd have to go 3 levels in, and that's not going to be worth it. Some people might want to go as a pure Sorcerer in the first place. There's many ways to do it, but I'm going to use a common build that I got off of GameSTG. They're good people. So, hold on a second. I have a cat behind me. There we go. Alright, Tempest. Because we get, like, Wrath of the Storm, we can hit people as a reaction that attack us. That's why people do it. Mistra, because I don't care. But I'm going to configure the stats like, basically like a Charisma character. So, and I'm also going to max out my abilities when it comes to concentrating on spells. Now notice that quarterstaffs, if you have one, are technically strength based. I might do something like this just because I don't care if things work out or not, because I just, you know, like if I'm a mage, my main thing that I'm going to be doing is casting my spells using my charisma. It's not going to be, you know, so this is like sort of janky a little bit. Most people will actually do something more like this because they want to maximize the armor class that you get out of dexterity. So you can do that too, it doesn't matter. I'm going to go like this is a basically, I'm going to set this up basically like I'm going to do that specific build I was talking about. So insight, and I'm assuming that I'm playing the character, so this is about the origin character I'm currently playing. Insight and religion are actually good to have, even though they're not necessarily perfect. So then the next couple of levels with Gale, when you first start the game, end up something like this. You're going to go directly over to Sorcerer, Draconic Bloodline, and you're going to choose Lightning usually. You can choose Cold, but I don't like the options. I like Lightning better. So we can go over here to our cantrips and we can do like the two, you know, Cold and Lightning are usually the things we're going to max out. Bone Chill, just because that way we can hit things. And take away their ability to heal. And then sometimes Fire, it doesn't really matter, you can choose whichever ones you want. Like Mage Hand is a good one too. By the time you need Mage Hand, usually you already have, you know, you already have some levels and stuff. So I already have a lightning spell because of my ancestor. So what I'm going to do now is I can technically do something that's utility based. So if I'm going to go as a cleric, with this build I'm already going to have the Jolty Vest medium armor. Shield is actually really nice to have, but it's not necessary. I can use Chromatic Orb for almost everything I need. So I could, in theory, do this if I really want to protect myself the most. But I can also, like, add Ice Knife. Ice Knife isn't useful in every situation, though. So maybe you could also instead do something like this. Pretty common way to do it. I prefer Shield, but I'm fine with the other. So then, like, on, you know, the next spell you could probably get is Shield. Or Ice Knife, it doesn't matter. You pick one. Usually it's recommended that you get Twinned and Distant. And then at 4th level, you will basically probably want, let's see, we want something that does damage. All our options are right now is this. So I would probably go, I hate to say it, I'd probably go Ice Knife because I don't really necessarily need Misty Step just yet. Especially if I have the Jolty Vest. Quicken Spell. That's how the first 4 levels will go. Basically that. So there's Gale. Now let's talk about Karlach.
I'd love to, thanks.
I think this is the build. Is this the one? Yeah. This is the build, so I don't have to necessarily go into it, where I already have Charisma. See, the thing is, she's a Berserker Thrower. She has the Returning Pike. This is the build I was talking about, where that with the Ring of Flinging, you're doing 20 damage to your enemies. I don't have to go through this one very much because I'm finding that 14 Charisma is perfect. It's just about perfect for her. So all you have to do when you start the game is like put Strength. I've already taken plus 2 Strength, but basically you take Strength. So mine was 16 at the beginning, 14 for Con, and then 14 for Charisma. It's actually not too bad. It's just I wanted to like put 2 points into Intelligence. With face characters, sometimes I like to have a flat +0 to Intelligence. But anyway, I don't have to go through her build because this works really well. I can hit enemies at a distance, and I'm doing 20 plus damage every time I throw this Returning Pike. And at level 5, I'm already getting 2 throws, so I'm beating the crap out of people. It's already great. So that was easy. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go over Lae'zel. Where's she at?
There we go.
Shadowheart, Astarion, Lae'zel. I'm just going to put her in the party real quick so I can show you.
Speak.
Stop telling me what to do.
You're full up. Good.
And she actually needed a level up, but I'm going to tell her to go over here and we're going to show you how it would go building through level 4.
Alas, time for chatter.
Fate dost thou require as
We'll go in here with her. Let's say she started out as a fighter. I can do the minimum Constitution of 14, Charisma can be 14, and then I can max out Strength. I'm going to probably max it out to 17 because I'm going to take Tavern Brawler as my first feat, put some Dexterity in there so I can hit things with my bow. So then what would I do? I don't have to really do Intimidation or Persuasion because I'm already doing pretty good. Threaten and Induce Fear. But I would do something like this, right? Probably like this. That's how technically the lore-friendly version of this would work. But if I'm playing her as an origin character, why do I have to do that? I can go over to Swords Bard. And here's what I mean. And you can actually be a strength-based bard. I'm just saying that right now. Some people think you can't. You can totally do that. You can actually do it. Here we go. There we go. Let's do that. Just hypothetically, we want to be lore accurate with the Great Sword. But we want Persuasion. We already have Intimidation pretty high. So we'll just do Persuasion and Intimidation. Because I'm going to basically want to do Acrobatics, and then I'm going to want to do Perception. That would be how I would do a Swords Bard. So I'm not going to go through Fighter, because Fighter is basically not too hard to understand. But I would do Lore Bard if it was me playing her. Because then what you can do... I would only reclass her at level 3 if I was going to do that. Because that can be dangerous. Why isn't there... That's weird. Alright, because I'm used to seeing, like, Healing Word. Okay, well, whatever. It doesn't matter for now. Bard. I'm going to take Bard. It's sort of weird. I don't think I've ever seen it where I can't take Healing Word, so I'm, like, confused as to why I can't. Something isn't right. what do I want to do? As a bard, I might take, like, Shatter. Now, College of Swords can be fun. But notice that I don't have a lot of proficiencies. I can take dual scimitars. It's not a problem. It's just if I want to make her a greatsword type, I can't. But I can do combat inspiration, and I can do College of Valor. College of Valor is basically proficient with everything. They do get medium armor. I prefer swords because you get these weapons flourishes, but you could in theory do College of Valor so that you can get great sword stuff because, you know, canonically she has great swords. I might actually do... this is probably good enough, so I might actually buff Perception and Acrobatics just to bring up their score. I'm not sure. Something is off. She should get Healing Word, so I'm sort of confused. I'm going to figure it out in a second, but anyway. And then at this point, one of the other things I want in terms of like the battlefield, I probably want Hold Person so I can just beat the crap out of someone. From here, if she's like still, if you want to keep her a fighter as much as possible, I wouldn't really do Tavern Brawler. 4 weapons of your choice. As a Valor Bard, I don't need to do that. But just hypothetically, if you chose Swords Bard, you could come in here and do that. You could like, in fact, you could buff Strength also, which might be fun. So you can like, you can select all the proficiencies. Why is this like, I guess I get all the passives? Well, I'm already a Valor Bard, so it's confused. But the other way to do it, honestly, there's Savage Attacker, which is sort of like attacking damage dice advantage. Here's what's going to be funny. Watch this. Like, it says I already have this. So, like, maybe I'm just not seeing it. But anyway. Ability score improvement would always work, too. If I'm a Swords Bard, I might actually want to do something like this, where I actually buff my Strength twice and my Charisma once. So, like, and it wouldn't be too bad of a setup. It really wouldn't. Because I'd have Healing Word. Song of Rest gives you basically another long rest, or a short rest rather. It's actually not too bad. And you get Heroism. So, like, this isn't too bad if you wanted to do Lae'zel that way. But, like I said before, if you're doing Fighter and you've already moved the stats around like I did with this, then you're already good. So, it's up to how you want to play the character. Alright.
Oh, I could go for a good meal.
Now here's the fun part. The fun one. Don't get
Got
dizzy.
to keep moving.
Let's go to Shadowheart. How would we actually play her if this is Origin Shadowheart? Clerics don't use Charisma, they use Wisdom mainly. They can have Charisma,
Fate,
but
dost thou require a new... As the...
you spread your stats real thin when you do that. So I'd start out... Well, let's actually start out all the way into Bard. I want to make her a healing Bard, is basically what I would want to do. So here's what I would do. I would go like this. I took all the healing spells. Most of the healing you do is going to be with these 2 spells. I hate to say it, but usually I give Shadowheart, like, you know, minor restoration or lesser restoration, and then greater restoration, remove curse, all those things. I've never been in a situation in the game where I've really needed to even use remove curse or anything like that. So, I mean, maybe I'm stupid or something, but I just don't know. So I might do something like this. Give her a flute. And then it's going to be basically the same thing. Now, that being said, I usually prefer that she run around like a stereotypical cleric with, like, the Blood of Lathander. So, I would probably want to make her a strength-based cleric. So, here's what I would probably want to do. I'd probably want to do this. I hate to say it, but that's because mainly the first time I get a chance to buff Constitution, I'm going to want to buff Constitution using the Warcaster feat. I almost always give her Warcaster. She only needs 2 face skills, so Persuasion and Deception. I would do those. And then from there, Perception is great as a face character. You're going first. You want to like notice things, so Perception is really good to have. Okay, so now that we've done that, how would her first 4 levels look? Pretty interesting, really. The thing is, lore bards, in order to do a Shadowheart copy, you would basically want to have lore bard. But that means that you may not actually be able to like get medium armor. I prefer having medium armor so I'm not squishy. That's just me. But let's do this. Now, how do I want to do this? See, I can even take Lesser Restoration. If I really want to focus solely on healing, I can do that as a bard. But I'm the face character, so I might actually want to take Speak with Animals. It just depends on how many of those potions I can get. But let's say I want to do healing, so Lesser Restoration. I would intentionally take College of Lore. That's going to give me some advantages, though. Like, for example, if I really want to max out my skills, I can choose Persuasion. Let's say I want to do Persuasion. That's really good. I can choose, then I can do Sleight of Hand if I want to be the person that's picking locks. I can choose Stealth. And I can choose Acrobatics to be able to avoid getting pushed off of cliffs. Or I can do Survival because I'm the one going first and I want to notice things. There's so many ways you can do this. But lore bards get a lot of good skills. So like with plus 7 perception, I'm going to pass almost every single dialogue check I need to do. Almost every single one that has persuasion. And finally, since I'm mainly a healer and not a battle cleric, maybe that. And I don't see any other healing spells in here. I could do Detect Thoughts, but I just don't care. I'm the bard. Maybe to save money I could do Speak with Animals and then sell my Speak with Animal potions. Here's what I would want to do. As Shadowheart, if I'm doing Bard and Lore Bard, that means I have no medium armor skill. So there's 2 ways to do it, and I'm not going to show you both. One way would be to get medium armor. Doesn't pose disadvantage. Do I already have? Hold on. Hold on. That's not supposed to happen. Okay, well, then this is going to sound weird, but like... But it requires proficiency with medium armor, and I don't have medium armor. Ah, so maybe what this is... Supposedly I already have medium armor. This is not supposed to happen. Hold on. Technically a lore bard does not get medium armor proficiency, but this one's saying that I do have it. So okay, if that was the case, I'm probably going to take Warcaster for concentration, but I don't have to do it that way. Because I'm already taking Charisma because that's my spellcasting capability. Let's see what happened, because I want to look at that. Did they fix something in the game? Yeah, that's what I thought. I'm not proficient with medium armor. That seems like a game glitch. But anyway, what I was about to say is for feats, you can take the medium armor feat so that you can basically wear medium armor. That's what I would recommend. Okay, so we did Shadowheart, and finally...
Late at the ready.
Will, if you want to create him like a base character...
Dost thou require...
show you, but he's basically already perfectly set up, just about. Cantrips, I usually do that. I'm going to go with Hexblade specifically so I can get medium armor, and it's going to give me shield spell. Or at least access to it. Usually when I play Will as a warlock, I'm going to like play him with like cold is the theme that I usually go with, or well actually he's in my party right now, so I'm also using him for lightning. So probably something similar to this. It says I already have Armor of Agathis. Whatever. However you want to do it. You can do this or that. But he's a Hexblade, so he gets medium armor. He's wearing the Jolty vest right now. What you would want to probably do, if he's mainly a like a spellcaster, I would probably do something like, and he's gonna probably be wearing, carrying the. I know I hate to set it up that way, but he's probably carrying the lightning quarterstaff, but he's probably not going to hit people with it. Some people just go straight up dexterity. That's actually a pretty good idea, because you might need to do arrows of lightning or arrows of cold, but you might also want to go with the ice bite robe. I actually like that one. So as a face character, we already have 5 persuasion. I might do deception just in case I need it, but I probably don't need it. And then he's my spellcaster. If I'm using him as a face character, I probably still want to have Arcana, just because I prefer doing it that way. I prefer that he do the mage stuff in the party if I'm using him as a face character. And then I'm going to basically go the rest of the way. If I'm using him as the mage, I'm going to swap over to Sorcerer. I'm surprised I don't get Bone Chill. Huh. Okay. Probably that. Acid Splash, maybe. Maybe not. Draconic Bloodline. Yeah, I probably want to do that because I want to get access to the lightning spell. I don't want blue scales on my base. I've actually done quite a bit of Sorcerer, or Sorlock, however you want to call it, multi-class, and I actually like this. I really do, because you get medium armor, and you can take another level of Warlock as you go along, buff it up to maybe 4 if you want to, but the possibilities are endless. But like I could take, like I'm supposed to have shield already. I've actually played this, and like it doesn't seem to tell you that you already have shield as a Warlock. So I'm gonna recommend doing that, or maybe I can actually do this. No, I'm not gonna do that. I'm gonna do this because I have medium armor, so I wouldn't want to do that. Twinned and distant. And then we go over here, and I'm probably gonna want, if I'm a squishy character or slightly squishy, I don't see any like cold or lightning spells. I probably get Shatter for now, just because I can swap it out with something else later. Quicken the spell, and then yeah. So that's basically how I would do the whole thing. There is the possibility of doing Eldritch Invocations if it's wanted. So like I could do Hellish Rebuke if I just want another thing. Now this is cool right here. If you're wanting to do like a spellcaster that's carrying a weapon, Wrathful Smite is actually nice, and it's a psychic damage, but whatever. And then let's see here. If I remember correctly, I think it's like Repelling and Agonizing Blast. Since you have Eldritch Blast, you want to probably take those. But anyway, you get the point. So that's basically all of the origin characters in this one. If you're playing Dark Urge, the easy thing to do is just go as a Swords Bard, and you know, and you'll probably be fine from there. So yeah, that's basically all the origin characters. Basically how to set them up as being a half decent face character, i.e. a dialogue specialist. So this is the One-Eyed Cat. Thank you so much for watching. I'm not going to save this because I got all this stuff going on. But like, thank you for watching. You have a good day.